There is a very simple way to defeat Ayanokoji, which is by challenging him in an anime quiz. There are a lot of cases where Ayanokoji was proven to be such an idiot when it comes to common knowledge, so Ayanokoji defeat is guaranteed as long as he cannot find a way to cover his weakness. I know it sounds really dumb, but Kinugasa already used that method to give a final conclusion for Nagumo. If the quality of Kinugasa writing keeps decreasing more and more, it will not be a surprise if Ayanokoji really ended up that way. However, let's talk about the future where Ayanokoji uses 100% of his power, but still loses against a student in the school. It's hard to imagine Ayanokoji to lose, either in the academic or athletic field. Even if he is not perfect, we could argue that he is what we call a superhuman. Maybe there is not a single character in the series who could actually win against Ayanokoji. However, a special exam is not about individual strength. In ANHS, students fought as a class. One exceptional individual will mean nothing if their classmates are always dragging them down. No matter how strong Ayanokoji is as a human, there is definitely a limit on how much he could do to overcome the power of quantity. Ayanokoji realizes this fact in his last conversation with Horikita Manabu. Ayanokoji acknowledged Manabu because he was strong in his own way, and no matter how strong Ayanokoji is, there will always be a way to defeat him. No one is invincible, and that is something that Ayanokoji wants to prove. If Ayanokoji cannot be defeated one-on-one, he wants to be defeated by the class that he raised for 2 years, the Horikita class. This might be confusing for some people, but Ayanokoji already prepared everything for him to lose. Ayanokoji is confident he wouldn't lose no matter the situation. However, he wants to be wrong. He wants a different future where everything is not under his control. And now, after Ayanokoji transfers classes and is ready for the third-year arc, how exactly could Horikita and the others defeat him? Let's just say Ayanokoji's term of winning is by graduating from Class A. After Volume 12.5, there are 440 class points between the Ayanokoji class and the Horikita class. It's not really a small amount, but a single special exam could turn things around. Ayanokoji has 2 options to win. Either he raises his own class, or brings Horikita class down. The best case scenario is if Ayanokoji could challenge Horikita class in every special exam, so his class point will always increase alongside the decrease of Horikita class point. However, if challenging Ayanokoji is a guaranteed loss, the best action Horikita could take is to avoid facing him and secure a victory against another class. There is a lot of special exam where they could choose their opponent, so it's not entirely impossible for Horikita to gain an easy victory against another class and maintain the distance with Ayanokoji. This strategy also means to not take unnecessary risks and just focus on maintaining their position at the top, just like what Katsuragi used to do while he was the leader of Class A. It might sound coward, but a win is still a win. Actually, if Ayanokoji cannot even find a way to break through, he has no right to complain. When I said Ayanokoji already prepared everything for his defeat, what I meant is Ayanokoji bet with Horikita to force her to join the student council. Horikita Privilege as student council president is rarely talked about, even though it's a huge advantage that makes her the most powerful student in the school. A student council president could get involved in preparing a special exam, which would make Horikita have a knowledge of what will happen, and how she could use it for her advantage. Nagumo once used his privilege to set a trap for Horikita Manabu, where he successfully expelled Tachibana in the exam. Knowing about the future special exam means that Horikita could make an early preparation or even find a loophole that she could use. Even though Ayanokoji could think and analyze very fast, maybe Horikita could keep up with him as long as she had enough time. However, that doesn't mean Horikita could know about every special exam. There are only 2 cases when Nagumo was shown to know about the future special exam, the mixed training camp and the uninhabited island exam, which both exams involve all 3 grades of students. I guess what the student council president could know is limited to the exam that involves a lot of students, and it's not like they will know all the details. According to Manabu, how much the student council president could know really depends on the ability of the student council president themselves. So far Horikita doesn't seem to use that privilege, and because she cannot become student council president forever, she needs to utilize her privilege as much as she can before it's too late. There is a reason why Ayanokoji tries to keep the 4 classes in balance. Even though his main focus is Horikita class, Ayanokoji decides to keep Ryuen in school and give Ichinose little help, so they could keep fighting in the 3rd year. Horikita, Ryuen, and Ichinose. None of them could possibly defeat Ayanokoji, but things will be different if they decide to gang up against him. 3 versus 1 is the best way possible that could bring Ayanokoji to his knees. If the 3 classes decide to cooperate, they will always have an advantage in the special exam and could even control the flow of class points, so a certain class could always win and the Ayanokoji class could always be at a disadvantage. The question is it possible for 3 of them to cooperate? Ayanokoji has a special contract with Ichinose that indicates some sort of teamwork between them, but that doesn't mean Ichinose will keep following him forever. After all, there is only one class that could graduate as Class A. I'm not sure what kind of plan Kinugasa has for Ichinose, but it will be disappointing if Ichinose keeps clinging to Ayanokoji forever. I would love if Ayanokoji betrayed her in the middle of the year, so Ichinose could walk on her own, just like what he did with Kei. On the other side, Ryuen wants to crush Ayanokoji, but he realizes he cannot do it alone. There is too much gap between their ability, so Ryuen defeating Ayanokoji is just a dream in the middle of the day. However, Sakayanagi already gave him advice that he will never defeat Ayanokoji if he is alone. After 1 or 2 more defeats, I'm sure Ryuen will realize that his ego will not give him what he wanted. No one could beat Ayanokoji alone, that is the fact. They need to cooperate before Ayanokoji breaks them one by one. And the last strategy that still remains a mystery is Sakayanagi's last message to Ryuen. Sakayanagi told Ryuen that she will create a weakness on Ayanokoji, but she left without explaining what she was planning. She only told Ryuen to never give up on fighting. There are a few hints about Sakayanagi's plan that were mentioned in volume 12.5. One thing that stood out the most is the fact that she took a long time before leaving the school. She said she needed to make some preparation, but I feel like what she means by preparation is an instruction for her classmates, especially Hashimoto. Hashimoto's fate was left undecided in volume 12.5, but after the end of volume 12, there must be some change that happens to him. He was crying and revealing her past to Sakayanagi, which I'm sure created a special connection between the two of them. Maybe Sakayanagi left a few instructions for Hashimoto for the future. Maybe she told him to betray Ayanokoji at the right time so the other class could win against him. Or maybe he is tasked to relay a message to Ayanokoji, just like what Ayanokoji did to him with Sakayanagi. Maybe we will need to wait for a year before we know what Sakayanagi was planning, but the fact that she took a part in Ayanokoji's defeat is nice to think about. Just like what Ayanokoji tried to do, she left something behind that will make her remembered even after she was gone. With her strategy, she could take a revenge against Ayanokoji through Ryuen. No matter what the result in the future, that will be a fun topic to talk about when they finally meet again.